is Donna Fiesel.
And I'm Cathy Tillery. Thank you for watching us this afternoon, and I hope you're having a great day. And now we have got some fun stuff
We
today.
haven't told them what we are. We're your host of the Age of Donna and Cathy. Yeah.
She always does that.
And you know something? You can find us many ways. You can go to the website and find us. You can also go to icradio.media. You can also find us on television 2 different ways, and one of those is local to North Alabama, and that's channel 182 on Charter Communications.
And Abundant TV, which you can add to your Roku TV, and it is absolutely free. So be sure to watch us Monday through Friday from 1 to 1:30. And don't forget, you can hang around a little longer if you're watching it on Abundant TV, because you can see Donna's afternoon drive home right after it. So that's what you need to do. You have a whole hour, sometimes 2 hours of good tips, good shows.
You know, I'm glad we started this back up again.
I am too.
Because way back a long time in the 2000s is when we started the show. And so I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then moved back. And then Cathy got in touch with me and said, Donna, let's start it back up again.
Yes, let's do it again. So let's try to help our communities, our areas, our country. Because actually this show now on Abundant TV, if you're watching it through Abundant TV, you can actually catch us all over the United States if you add it to your Roku, and even in Australia.
Yes, Nate.
Did
I say that right?
Isn't that awesome?
Yes. Now, you folks from Australia, let me know how I'm supposed to pronounce this. Okay. But thank you so much for watching. You know, we like to be copycats sometimes. I think everybody likes to be a copycat. You're a copycat.
Copycats. Yep. That's a good thing to do, like if you want to do some interior designing, because a lot of times you can see something on TV and you can say, oh,
I like that idea.
And then you can go home and find a pillow, and you can change the pillowcase, and you can make it look like what you saw on TV or in the department store.
On a budget is what we do.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
And we talked about recipes, Donna, here recently in a few shows.
Is that kind of a hint?
Yes, there we go.
Oh, yeah, copycat recipes. I'm excited.
All right. So I did a recipe, and you did too, on chili. Not too long ago, and we did some on spaghetti. But I found one on Copycat. That's a good chili recipe. Now, my chili was very simple, and yours was too. We used Lipton onion soup mix, chili beans, bush chili beans, and some extra pintos, some
whatever we got,
chili powder,
everything but
ground
the
chuck. Yeah. Okay, but this one is a really good one, and I found it. It's Grandma's recipe. Actually,
if it's Grandma's, it's good.
It's Wendys Copycat Chili in the slow cooker. You know, when we talked about making chili, mine wasn't in the slow cooker. Mine was to do really quick and prepare the chili, and you can cook it in 30 minutes to an hour, and you're done. And then you just let it simmer till everybody comes and gets their bowl. This one is a slow cooker, which is really good for people, you know, like my children. They're on budgets. We're all on budgets.
I was going to say, I am too.
Oh, yeah. And so slow cooker's great, because then after you finish eating, you can actually take what's left over and quickly put it in your freezer storage containers and zap it in the fridge or in the freezer for the next day or the next week. This one is Wendys Copycat Chili. The ingredients, are y'all ready? Grab a pen and paper.
We're ready.
1 green bell pepper chopped. 1 yellow onion diced. 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, I just do 1 pound in mine, but this makes a larger portion. 1 29-ounce can of tomato sauce. 2 1.5-ounce cans. So 2 of those. 2 1.5-ounce cans of diced tomatoes, but don't drain them. Okay, don't drain them. 3 little ribs of celery chopped up. 1 29-ounce can of pinto beans, but now those you do need to drain on this recipe. 1 29-ounce can of kidney beans. Drain.
Oh, so
see,
now beans in there.
Yeah, and I don't use kidney beans in mine, so this is a really good one because I think kidney beans are really good for you.
All beans are. They get protein, right?
Beans, legumes, they're very good for you. They're actually very heart healthy. Beans are. 2 cups of beef broth. 1 tablespoon of cumin powder.
So it's kind of gives it a little bit of an Asian, Indian taste.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have any cumin powder. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one for one of the Alabama football games.
Yeah.
And it takes a little longer to prepare, but this is still a great one because you're putting it all in the crock pot. 1 tablespoon of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Now, you're going to place a large skillet on the stove and turn the heat up to medium. Then you're going to cook your ground beef, okay? Cook until it is completely done, crumbly and brown. And don't forget to drain the grease. Because I remember one time I made spaghetti and chili. I've done it. I'm guilty. I didn't. I just dumped it. And my husband was like, did you not get rid of the grease out of there? That's gross.
Simmers on the top.
But I used ground round, and I didn't think it had any because I had to substitute because they didn't have ground chuck that day. Okay, so now you've cooked your meat, all right? Then you're going to add the ground chuck, transfer it into a 6-quart large slow cooker. Okay.
So the cooker does all the work for you.
Or a 6-quart crock pot. I guess either one, right, would be fine. Just remember that's how much food, though, you've prepared. It's going to be for 6 quarts. Add the rest of the ingredients into the slow cooker together, okay? Stir it well till everything's combined. Cover the slow cooker and cook for about 8 to 10 hours on low. So, or 4 to 6 on high. So, like on a crock pot, usually that's what I usually do. Like if I'm preparing something in the crock pot, I turn it up on high the first 2 or 3 hours, don't you?
I do
and
too.
I make sure that like everything gets really hot to kill all the bacteria and germs or whatever, to kind of give it that fast start. And then I turn it to low for like the next 3 to 6 hours.
But you know what's tempting? What's tempting is to open up the lid and stare it. When you do that, you lose a lot of the heat.
Oh, really?
Don't do that. I know it's tempting.
I didn't
don't
think about
do
that.
it. Just don't leave it in there until the allotted time.
That is a good idea.
And then you got to start all over again.
Serve it hot. Feel free to use both water and bouillon cubes if you wanted to. I guess to make it a little thinner if it's too thick.
But I like mine kind of thick.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good chili.
That's some good. And I'm going to tell you what, she mentioned, like if you work, even if it's just filling me with the house all day by ourselves, it takes a lot of prep work out. Go ahead and get it fixed, put it in a crock pot, and it smells good all day long cooking.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. And then when you do come, let's say you have been working, or maybe you and I are out talking to some of our customers, we come back in, open up that door, and it's like, heaven on earth smelling that chili.
Well, and I love to do a roast. I'm going to share that recipe in another show. I want to share my roast recipe, and then take the leftovers the next day and turn it into beef stew. Oh, I just did that actually this week at home,
or you can
and it was delicious.
You can do all kinds of stuff in that.
My husband said, "Oh my God, that was so good."
Yeah,
and
but you know
I made cornbread to go with it.
What I like to do is I like to cook the big roast. And
this
is
a big one.
And I like to do it, and I love the leftovers. So what I'll do is I'll do the leftovers, and I'll go ahead and chop it up in small pieces.
Right.
Use a little chopper. And then, and by the way, if you use a wooden board, make sure that after you've chopped the meat on it, that you get hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
Because what that'll do is get in there and it'll bubble up and get rid of any little residue of the meat or grease or anything like that on there. But I like to put mine in.
And then you wash it good though after that.
Wash it good, of course. Yeah. Oh yeah, don't do just that.
Yeah,
you got to
wash
do
it
both
good.
steps.
Yeah.
So then what I like to do is cut it up and put it in bags. The good bags is one thing I won't skimp on, is good freezer bags.
Right.
And then what I'll do is I'll put it thin so that if I only want to make a sandwich or something, let's just say I'm not hungry but Phil is, I can break off some of that, put it in the microwave in 30-second intervals, by the way. Don't do it a whole 2 minutes. You'll burn part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Make it
and
hard
then
as
the
a rock.
Oh, yeah.
That's terrible that way.
Mm-hmm.
So just like 30-second intervals.
Right.
And then he's got a roast sandwich, barbecue roast.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
I got another recipe. Copycat.
Okay, yes, another copycat recipe. That was a good one, the chili.
Copycat time. time. So
Okay.
this is a Cracker Cracker Barrel. Okay, you get in some free advertising. Take advantage of it. So I'm not gonna keep doing this. So Cracker Barrel Coca-Cola cake recipe. Have you ever had that Coca-Cola cake? Oh
No.
my goodness, it's good, and it's very, very moist. Now we have a version in our family of something kind of like this, and it tastes a lot like it. So this is the
Okay, get your pen and paper. Here we
yeah,
go.
get ready.
Coca-Cola.
Get ready.
What was it? Coca-Cola?
Yes, Coca-Cola Cracker Barrel Coca-Cola cake recipe. Okay, so it's like a chocolate fudge Coca-Cola cake, and it's really super good. Now the Coca-Cola is what makes it really moist. Now you can use Pepsi; it doesn't have to be just Coca-Cola. Okay, and so this is like double chocolate. Okay, and I've got a picture. I don't know if you can see it, and I can put it up just as close as I possibly can. But that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, if you like chocolate, you're gonna love this. Okay. So a huge hunk of this double chocolate cake and an ice cold glass of milk. It's really like super, super good right here.
Milk cookies.
By the way, my skinny husband could eat half this, go to sleep, and not gain an ounce. Doesn't that make you mad?
Isn't that something?
He most certainly does. Okay, so this is, I'm going to scoot down to the recipe. Oh, by the way, you can use a buttermilk substitution for this. And let me tell you how to do this. Because I like buttermilk in baking, but I don't like to drink buttermilk. Neither does Phil. We love cornbread and milk, but not cornbread and buttermilk.
Well, I put buttermilk in my cornbread.
Yeah, that's it. You can. I like
and in
to
my dressing.
cook in it. So let me tell you what. If you don't want to buy a quart of buttermilk because you don't bake that much, you can make your own buttermilk. Super easy to do, Kathy.
Really?
Yeah. So if the recipe calls, say, for a cup of buttermilk, what you want to do is put 1 tablespoon of lemon juice in the bottom of the cup, and then you'll just fill up the milk to make it.
Whole milk? You have to use whole milk?
Use whole milk.
Yeah.
Now, if you use the fat-free and all that kind of stuff, it'll clabber, but it's just not as good. You need to use whole milk, which I use whole milk anyway.
Oh, so how does it turn into buttermilk?
It just
the lemon and the milk.
Science, and it just clabbers up, and it
really?
just turns it into
like right away or like the next day?
Right then. It's so much fun.
Wow.
And this is a good thing you can do with the kids.
Oh yeah, it is. So how much lemon juice?
A tablespoon.
A tablespoon of lemon juice in a small cup,
and then
a regular size cup, and then fill the rest way up with whole milk.
Use a measuring cup, okay, to make sure you got the exact, okay? So again, tablespoon of. You can also do vinegar.
I'm going to do this today when I get home.
Vinegar works it too.
Because I've never done that.
Yeah, either way,
I've been cooking a long time and I've never done that.
Either
know that.
Either way's gonna
When
work.
you said you can make buttermilk, I was thinking like leave it sitting out clabbering, and I was thinking that's gross. No, so that's great.
I've been afraid bugs or something would give it. Trapped flies, that's awesome. Who knows what it would do.
Okay, so here we go.
Here's recipe. Okay, you've got to have butter, and you got to have Coca-Cola, and it's a stick of butter, by the way. Coca-Cola semi-sweet baking chocolate squares, and I'll tell you how to do that. Miniature marshmallows. It almost sounds like the Mississippi mud cake. You ever made the Mississippi mud cake?
Mississippi mud pie
cake.
No, I'm not making cake.
There's a cake. And it calls for some of the same ingredients. It makes me think of that. Shortening, vegetable oil, sugar, eggs, vanilla, buttermilk, all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda, so you can use both, salt, cocoa. See, I'm telling you, double chocolate right there.
Wow.
And then your confectionery sugar and heavy cream is how you're going to make this. Now, here's how you make it.
Okay, here we go. Now, this is when you have to write it down.
Super easy.
Okay.
So, by the way, you can go to the website copycat.com. Copycat, K-A-T.com. And you can find this recipe.
And you can find the chili recipe there, too.
Yeah, it's all there, too. You'll place the butter, the milk, chocolate square in a saucepan. You want to bring this to a real quick boil, okay? Stirring constantly because you don't want it to,
And what's in there right now? Just the cocoa? Butter and the cocoa?
No, butter, Coke, and the chocolate square.
Okay, butter, Coke, and chocolate square. And that's what you're stirring.
I would start it out at a low heat first until you get the butter and the chocolate square mainly melted, because if you're not careful, it's going to scorch. Okay, remove from heat and then add those marshmallows. Okay, stir when the marshmallows are completely melted and all is blended. Allow the mixture to cool at room temperature. So you want to do that first. That's the very first thing. Okay, now in a mixing bowl, you want to blend the shortening, the oil, the vanilla, and the sugar, and do it until it's really fluffy-like, okay? And then add the milks and the buttermilk, or add the eggs and the buttermilk, and beat it until it's smooth. You can do it by hand. It'll take a little bit longer, but you'll have great arms. See how good my arms are?
Yeah. Well, I have a hurt wrist right now, so I can't really
You
do
won't be
much
able
of
to do it.
nothing.
Use
with
the
my
mixer,
arm.
Cathy.
Yeah.
In another bowl, you want to mix the flour, the baking soda, and the cocoa, and the baking powder, and the salt. So that's your dry ingredients, okay? Then add half the flour mixture to the shortening, the egg mixture, and beat it until it's well blended. Then you want to add that cool Coca-Cola mixture and beat it really well. The reason you want to cool it down is you don't want it to cook the eggs. You don't want scrambled eggs in your cake.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you got to cool it
Yeah,
down.
that's true.
Add remainder of the flour and beat until it's completely smooth. Then you want to pour this batter. Make it easy on yourself. You can do 3 layers if you'd like to do that, but pour the batter into a 13 by 9 by 2 inch long oblong greased pan, baking pan.
Does it matter Pyrex or aluminum? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Does it?
Really
Okay,
doesn't matter at this point.
Okay.
So bake, you want to have it, the recipe doesn't say this, but you want to have it, you want to go ahead and turn that oven on while you're putting this together.
Preheat the oven.
Got to be in a hot oven. That's going to
Okay.
be the best.
Okay.
350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. Then what you're going to do is cream together the margarine, the cocoa, the confectionery flour, sugar into a large mixing bowl, and then slowly add the cream or milk. Cream is best. It's going to make it a little fluffier. And then you add your vanilla. You want to spread that frosting over the warm cake. And what's going to happen is this frosting is going to melt just a little bit. And then it's going to harden. And that's going to give it that fudge taste. That's the key to the whole thing. You can do a regular layer cake, and this is what I like to do. People say, "Oh, what is your recipe for this? Frosting is so good." All it is, I just get some confectionery sugar, and then I'll add a little bit of water to it. Now you got to add it. Depends on humidity where you live. Sand Mountain up here and the mountains up here is going to be different than if I go to your house in Oxford or Anniston and bake the cake. So add the water, a tablespoon at a time, okay? And then it's going to be a really nice fluffy consistency. Then what I do is throw it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Stir it. Back in the microwave for about 30 more seconds, and it's going to kind of melt it a little bit. Pour it on top of the cake, and it's like fudge with only 2 ingredients. Really.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Oh, it's super good. And then now another thing that you can do, you can use this same frosting on other cakes. Okay, so it's a really good one. Now, if you'd like, you could add about 1.5 cups of pecans, which is what I let. Pecans are my favorite, so you can
walnuts.
Add that.
Those are good for you.
Anything,
yes.
Peanuts, whatever it's nuts, you can do it. Hazelnuts are good too, by the way. And you could just fall in love with it. And so a lot of people love this recipe. When they go to Cracker Barrel, this is the cake they ask for dessert.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know we can't, like, push our advertisers too much if they don't advertise with us. Cracker Barrel doesn't, but they do have some good food.
But they will be doing that soon.
I have to say that. They have some really good food.
Yes, they do.
Yes, I love to eat breakfast there because of their biscuits.
Uh-huh.
Don't you like their biscuits?
Yeah, but you and I can make biscuits just as good as they
Oh, yeah, home. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. By making it's all in the buttermilk. And what they do, and let me tell you, this makes a really, really good biscuit. And so you're breaking all the rules, okay? So I use butter in my biscuits.
Yeah, real butter. That's what I cook with real butter.
So what I do is I'll get a big knife and I'll go ahead, and just almost like I'm chopping nuts. And so I'll go ahead and chop up that butter, and you want it to be in little pieces. And you don't want to mix it up too much because you want that butter in there. That's what makes the biscuits flaky.
Is the butter.
The butter. But now if you mix it up, like really mix it up where you can't even see the butter, it won't be as flaky.
Right.
So.
And homemade biscuits, that's a good thing right now. Fall, football weather, you're having family over. You know, actually a lot of people start thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas. I know at Christmas, I love to prepare a meal. Like with these, you know, like chili the night before, everybody's watching football. That's great for Thanksgiving, especially the Friday after Thanksgiving. Everybody watches football, or most people do. But a lot of women are out shopping because that's the Black Friday, correct? So you could put that chili recipe in the crock pot and let hubby make the dessert. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, men can cook really great, too.
Oh, yeah.
If you ask them to, with, you know, I'm sure that you'll be surprised. I know my husband he actually can cook in the kitchen.
Mhm.
He's an excellent griller. Oh my goodness.
All
He loves
guys,
to grill. But,
all guys are the cookout
wonderful.
king.
Oh my gosh, he can grill roast and pork chops and steaks
Now,
and
why is
fish.
it they like cooking outside, but they don't like cooking inside?
I
so
think it's
much?
a man thing because it's
It's
open
fire.
and
I'm the caveman.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
We're inside the kitchen. You're like trapped, you know, in that small area where you've got to prepare everything, and then your wife is saying, "Oh, honey, don't use that.
Okay.
Use this."
I got something else for you.
Okay.
We're in the fall time of the year. Everybody likes
Mhm.
pumpkin spice everything.
Oh, yeah, I love pumpkin spice.
This is the time of the
lattes.
year I even make pumpkin spice like candles, pumpkin spice
Mhm.
soaps. Everybody wants pumpkin spice
Tea,
everything.
coffees.
Okay, so you don't live close to a Starbucks. Okay, you're like us. We live out in the country. There's not a Starbucks anywhere close around. But I got a hankering for some Starbucks pumpkin pie latte.
Okay, tell us. Can you make it at
This
home?
is easy. This is
Okay.
copycat.com.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Here we go. What it's going to call for is water, ground nutmeg. Now, again, you get this recipe on copycat.com. So you just go straight to that website and you'll find it, okay?
Mhm.
Okay, water, nutmeg, cinnamon sticks, or ground cinnamon. Cinnamon sticks would give you the better flavor. And then you're going to do fresh or ground ginger. Ground ginger is better. And then a canned pumpkin. That's the surprise ingredient.
You mean like canned pumpkin like we use for pumpkin pie?
Absolutely.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Espresso or strong coffee. I make mine strong anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had some when you came by the studio.
Yeah, can
That's
we
why
make
we're
this
both
in a minute?
wired.
I love pumpkin.
This is good.
I love
This is
everything
good stuff.
pumpkin.
You'll need milk, and you'll also need some whipped cream. Okay, so you
Mhm.
got to have that in here into your stuff. So here's how you make it. You want to combine the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the ginger, and water in a medium-sized saucepan. But let me tell you what I do. You know those little coffee grinders that you can get? I've got like $10.
I don't
or
have
something.
one yet. I need one of
Somewhere
those.
around $10.
I need a coffee
Santa
grinder.
Claus will bring you one.
I need a
So,
coffee grinder.
so those really you need, especially if you're using fresh and maybe you got the cinnamon sticks and that
Right.
kind of thing. You want to put all that stuff in one of those little things. It'll take just seconds to grind it up for
And
you.
you grind it all up. You can grind it all up together then,
Do it
I
all
guess,
together.
couldn't you?
Mhm.
Wow, yeah, that's
So,
good.
and that'll give you even more flavor.
And you know something else I don't have talking. Speaking of coffee grinders, my daughter does because she's an excellent baker, and so she loves to bake cakes and pastries and doughs and breads. I kind of tried to stay away from that, so I guess that's why I don't have one. I have a blender, I have a handheld mixer,
Mhm.
and I use my hands when I beat cakes. But so I have some really good whisk.
Mhm.
But now that my wrist is hurting, I need one of those nice little small, what is it, KitchenAid blenders, right? That's what my daughter has one of those.
Mhm.
I think they have those in all the schools now when they're teaching them.
Hubby, are you
That's a
listening?
hint.
No, that's not
But
a
I
hint.
don't
That's
want a
just
big
going
one.
right out saying,
I don't
I've got
want a
the
big one.
I like the big one.
I don't want
though.
a big one. I just need one.
But it's heavy.
Now that my
but it's heavy.
hand, yeah.
You know what you're going to make me do? You're going to make me have to start all over again with this recipe.
Oh, no, let's not do that.
Husband, get her you know what she
A small little
Yeah. You need
mix,
to, why do you
blender,
here's what you need to do.
mixer,
Here's what you need to
bowl,
do.
yeah.
You need to go
The
with them to a
KitchenAid.
department store and you need to say, the thing I was hinting about,
Mhm.
this is it right here.
I think they sell them at Walmart, Target, everywhere, don't they now?
Yeah, just point it out to him.
Yeah, a small
Or
one.
you can do like I do sometimes. Just cut out pictures of it and put it on his desk.
Well, you know, I've never had problems with my wrist. So I've never had to worry about being able to beat up even pudding mix.
You remember the old ones that
Can't
they had?
do
My
it.
grandmother used to have this. There's probably somewhere around this farm
Mhm.
somewhere. And it was like it had a little handle. It was like a wooden handle and it was red. And then
Mhm.
you did this.
Yes.
You remember those?
I remember that my grandmother had one of
Yeah,
those.
my grandmother had. I bet it's
Had one
around
of
here on the
those.
farm
Yes.
somewhere. Okay, how to
Okay,
make Starbucks
back to
pumpkin
our
spice latte.
back to
We
our
don't have a
pumpkin
whole
spice
lot of
latte.
time.
Okay.
Okay, so combine the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the ginger, and the water in a medium-sized saucepan. Bring to boil and then turn down the heat to simmer. And this is important. You got to let it simmer. Don't boil. You need to simmer it. And that helps those flavors soak in together, okay? You need to do it for about 20 minutes, okay? Make sure you got plenty of time. Then you want to drain out those spices and pour the water through a coffee filter. That's important you do that. And then you'll place the spice-flavored water back into the pan. Add sugar and the pumpkin and mix it really well. You want to simmer that for about 10 minutes. And then prepare the espresso or the strong coffee. Either one works. Pour a couple of tablespoons of that pumpkin syrup. See, it makes a syrup. So you put that into the coffee cup, and then you add the coffee. Gently pour that frothed milk over the coffee. Stir. Top it with some whipped cream and a dash of ground nutmeg.
Wow.
And it's just like it.
I could see that now, because when I've had a pumpkin spice latte, like
the
at
secret
a
is
coffee
making
shop.
syrup out of it.
Yes, it is.
And if you've got fresh pumpkin, that's even better.
Oh, yum. I just love pumpkin. You know that I don't know what y'all's favorite pie is. Used to, probably growing up, mine was apple pie. Or fried apple pies, or homemade apple pie.
Chocolate.
But since I probably got into my 20s, love pumpkin pie. I could eat the whole pie.
I love sweet potato pie.
My husband loves sweet potato pie.
It's
very similar.
We call it sweet tater pie.
Very similar. And the thing is, I love sweet potatoes. I love sweet potato souffle, sweet potato casserole. Sweet potatoes with a big old
sweet potatoes are good for you too.
Snap of butter on my sweet potato. That's the bomb. Now restaurants sometimes serve it with cinnamon and brown sugar.
You can do
my kids like that.
Fries. There's so many different things.
Oh yeah, but pumpkin pie. Somebody needs to make me a pumpkin pie. I think it's my daughter. I'm begging my daughter now to make me one of those for Thanksgiving.
Are you using this
She's
show as a way to place hands?
She is the baker when it comes to desserts. I usually don't cook desserts. I'll cook fudge brownies, cake.
Oh, fudge brownies are good, you know.
Divinity, I would love to have learned how to perfect that from my mother, but I did not do that before she died because she's been deceased 30 years. But she could make the best divinity.
Oh, man.
Do you know that's an art?
You got to know what you're doing.
Do you know that's an art?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, to make good divinity is an art.
For it to be right.
And she could make the best divinity and I remember thinking when she would break out that bottle of that clear K-Rose syrup, it was divinity time.
Now, let me ask you, in the South, and for you folks who are watching us in Australia,
right?
We love sweet tea. I mean, we are, come sit on the front porch and drink some sweet tea. We call it sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got McDonald's recipe for sweet tea. You know, they got really good sweet tea.
They do.
A lot of folks go there just for the sweet tea.
They sure do.
And they'll just do the drive-through sweet tea.
Does it tell what kind of tea they use?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
Is it Lipton?
And I don't think they're going to give us that.
Oh, they're not going to tell us the name.
But you know what? Any tea is going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really is. So here's what they do. They'll do 2 quarts of water, and now you got to divide it, okay? But you're going to add 1 quart at a time. Okay, so 2 quarts of water, 3 family-sized bags of tea, or 12 bags of the smaller tea, 2 cups of sugar. It's a bunch of sugar. All right, but don't get me out yet, okay? I know we like our sugar in our tea. Okay, you want to boil 4 cups of water and add the tea bags and the sugar. Stir to mix in the sugar, and then you'll reduce the temperature to simmer. See, they're cooking the sugar with the tea bags. I've never done it that way.
Oh, I
always do just the tea bags. Now, here's one thing I do. Have you ever had sweet tea maybe a few days, and it kind of has this weird taste to it?
It's starting to ferment.
Okay, all right. Actually, here's what you can do. If you'll add just a pinch of baking soda, just a pinch. You know what a pinch is? A pinch is just a little bit,
drop.
Just a little bit. After you've taken the tea off the stove and it's still boiling hot, it's got to be hot for this to work, okay? So you've just taken it off the stove, get a pinch, and it'll kind of like make a little fizz look because it's hot. That takes that out. It'll last a week in the refrigerator.
Takes the bitterness out of there.
It takes that out, and it's not going to ferment. It's not going to have this weird taste. Of course, we drank a gallon of tea.
So so the trick is, like when I make tea.
Can you believe the show's already over?
Oh my goodness! It
Thank
just
you
went
so
by
much
too
for watching.
fast. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you next time.